Subnet mask. During the explanation of bitwise AND operations, I had mentioned when a bitwise AND operation is carried between IP address and subnet mask, we get the network address. We have learned the basics of IP address and the basics of bitwise AND operations. Now it is time for me to introduce the concept of subnet mask. We have also learned that by looking at the value of the first octet of a given IP address, we can determine its class. So if the value is between 1 to 126, it is class A. If it is between 128 and 191, it is class B. And if it is between 192 and 223, it is class C. Now each of the classes A, B and C has been assigned a default subnet mask. For class A, the default subnet mask is fixed to 255.0.0.0. For class B, it is fixed to 255.255.0.0. And for class C, it is fixed to 255.255.255.0. So, in a nutshell, we can say, look at the first octet value of an IP address, determine its class, and that's why you should be able to identify what is the corresponding default subnet mask. Let us take a couple of examples. Given an IP address 11.12.13.15, identify the default subnet mask. Let's look at pay attention to the first octet. It is 11 and it falls in the range 1 to 126. That means it is a class A IP address, and that is why the default subnet mask for class A is 255.0.0.0. Next, given an IP address 128.10.13.14, let's look at the first octet value. It is 128. It falls under the range 128 to 191. That means it is a class B IP address, and that is why the default subnet mask for class B is the correct one for it, which is 255.255.0.0. Moving on to the third and the final example, given an IP address 192.168.20.10, identify the default subnet mask. Let's look at the first octet, 192. It falls under the range 192 to 223. That means it is a class C address, and the corresponding default subnet mask for class C is 255.255.255.0, and so the correct answer is this. Okay. Now, couple of characteristics. If we have to draw a parallel, how does it compare with an IP address, right? Just like an IP address, a subnet mask is also a 32-bit number, right? Just like an IP address, a subnet mask is divided into 4 equal parts, represented in octets, bytes, or 8 bits. Okay, just like an IP address, as I said, IP address is also represented in dotted decimals. Subnet mask is also represented in dotted decimals. And finally, here's the important thing. Remember, I'm talking about the default subnet mask. So, a default subnet mask, the value of octet is either 0 or 255. Let's look at the default subnet mask for class A. What does it say? It shows 255.0.0.0. The first octet is 255 and the rest 3 octets, second, third and fourth, are set to 0. Okay. Class B, the first 2 octets or the first 2 bytes are set to 255 and 255. The third and the fourth have been set to 0. Okay. And for class C, the first 3 bytes are set to 255.255.255 and the fourth octet is set to 0. Pretty simple, right? Okay. And finally, what is the use of subnet mask? Well, there are lot number of uses of subnet mask, but for now, let us keep it simple. Let us just remember that when an IP address and subnet mask, a bitwise operation is applied between them, we get the network address. As I mentioned, there is much more to subnet mask, but let's take one step at a time and learn things gradually.